Hello, hello. What's up, guys? You are watching the Couch Casuals. I'm your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, with my beautiful host.
Kyle Diorio, welcome back to the first show of 2024.
Pam, 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 pam.
CCMMA, bringing you the first card of the year,
And
UFC 297.
where's that taking place? We're taking place out of Toronto, Canada. First time in 6 years, Kyle.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Is first time in 6 years for Toronto or first time in 6 years for Canada?
I believe it's
Or
definitely
pay-per-view?
Toronto. I don't remember the last time they went to Canada. I really don't.
Well, they had the last time Mike Mallet was on a card, they were in Canada, but I don't know if that was a fight night or a pay-per-view.
We're here to present you the pre-show for UFC 297, Sean Strickland versus Dricus du Plessis. What are your thoughts on this card taking place in Canada?
I mean, I don't really have a lot of thoughts on that specifically.
Well, I think that Canada has some of the best fans in the UFC, aside from like the drunken Texas fans or anything like that. I think the reception that Sean Strickland got during the press conference, they went nuts for this guy.
They really did. That was kind of crazy. I think when I saw the reception at the time, I didn't even realize it was in Canada. Like, I wasn't even thinking. Mm-hmm. Like, I just thought it was a regular card.
I mean, you could look at this card and say, like, okay, it's a regular schmegular card. But when you look deeper in, you have some Canadian favorites, and then you have a questionable co-main when you have Juliana Pena on the sidelines. We'll get into all that. Let's open up the card with the first fight on the main card. Any prelim shout-outs you want to give? I think Charles Jourdain,
Brad Katona's on it.
two-time Ultimate Fighter winner Brad Katona.
It's not like the craziest prelims, but, a lot of times when I don't know the prelim fighters, it feels like somebody shows out.
Sure.
Polyana Viana's on the prelims, though.
We should have got a picture of her. If you guys don't know who Polyana Aviana is, did I say it right?
I think so. Polyana Viana.
Polyana Viana. If you
Just
guys
look her up.
don't know this chick, man, look her up. Shout out to the prelims. This card, the main card starts at 10. I believe the prelims start at 6, maybe 7.
The early prelims?
The early
Probably.
they have early prelims?
Well, they have early prelims for every card.
Mm-hmm. I would check out this fight from sundown to 1, maybe 2 in the morning. It depends. Opening up the main card, we have Arnold Allen versus Movsar Evloev.
Yeah. This is a pretty fun fight, honestly. This is a solid featherweight opener. These two guys are they're kind of like those two guys that could potentially be the future faces of the featherweight, meaning kind of early, Mm-hmm. Are they're ranked? Are they ranked?
I'm not sure about their rankings, but if you were to look at their record, you have Arnold Allen 19-2 and Movsar Evloev 17-0. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a crazy good fight to open a card with. I want to see their rankings, but for some reason the UFC, ESPN's website doesn't show rankings.
So you have to look up the rankings individually.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to find it.
Now
we're talking.
Arnold Allen is a great fighter. He's a calculated fighter. He knows how to go in when he needs to, and he can also swing and bang. So, but I feel like we've talked about this Evloev guy more than once.
Yeah, God, I can't remember the last time we talked about him. I feel like something happened.
It was a late fall show, but we brought him up.
Did it get canceled or something? Did he have a canceled fight?
I think he had a canceled fight spring, summer, and we talked about him in the fall, and then now we're wrapping around to talking about him again.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the last time we talked about him, he was up against that Diego Lopez guy that we both were pretty big on. Mm-hmm. He did beat Lopez, but it was a three-round fight. And, yeah, his last fight was in May of 2023. And before that, he hadn't fought since June of 22. Not super active.
No. And I feel like that has something to do with his training camps. Like, who is he training with? How hard are his training camps?
Yeah.
What is he doing during like his
Um.
time off?
Yeah. Arnold Allen's coming off of a loss to Max Holloway, so like
When was that? That was before the
April
Korean.
of last year.
Yeah, that was before the Korean Zombie fight for
Yeah.
sure.
So neither of these guys have been super active last year. They only had one fight apiece. Um. So maybe getting them started early in the year, they can get a couple fights in. I don't know. Maybe they do have longer training camps. Um. But yeah, prior to that, Allen coming off of wins against Calvin Cater and Dan Hooker.
So I personally am gonna go with the hype train, the undefeated, undisputed Movsar Evloev. And you seem to differ. You seem to differ. So this,
Hey,
I'm not saying it rarely happens, but we're already
diverging.
Yeah, of course. And why is that?
I just, I like Arnold Allen, and I think this was one of those ones that I'm like really torn on anyway. Like, it was like, this isn't like just a like, oh yeah, Arnold Allen's gonna fucking dominate.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be really close, and it could probably go either way. I like Arnold Allen's track record a little bit better, and that's how I'm gonna give him the edge. And I did find the rankings. Allen is 4, Evloev is 9.
So
So
I wouldn't say Allen's fighting backwards. He is fighting down, and he seems to be content with that. He seems to want to put on a show and solidify his position at number 4. You never know with the featherweights. This could shoot him up, not into title contention, but up there with the upper echelon.
a one fight away type situation.
Because we'll get to it later in the show. Max is busy. He's busy.
Max has got a big fight coming.
So I don't know if this shoots Arnold or Movsar into title contention, but they're right up there. So with a win, with a win or a victor over the opposition, you never know what's going to happen. And if they do it in outstanding fashion, that's even better on them.
Yeah, if either one of them gets a finish, they could probably make a call for a fight, if they wanted to.
If you guys, our friends, our fans, want to bet on any of these fights from here on, any fights of the night really, but from here on specifically, go to DraftKings.com, promo code CCMMA for real.
This is an official promo code.
Official.
We have no clue what it offers you. But it's real.
You let us know. We've signed up and everything.
You use it. It's probably like a couple pennies off, maybe.
It could be it could be a couple pennies. It could be 99 cents. You bet $5, you get $150. It could be any of that. We just haven't used it yet.
Promo code.
It's a real promo code. We signed up and everything.
DraftKings.com/CCMMA. That shit's real now. It's not a joke.
Call 1-800-GAMBLER if you or a friend has a problem. I'll put all the details in the bio. Anyways, on to the next fight of the night. Kyle, take us home.
We're going into the Action Man, Chris Curtis versus Marc-Andre Barriault. I know that's Canadian, so I don't know. Maybe it's got a little fanciness, but I don't know his nickname. Probably a pretty fun little middleweight fight. Chris Curtis is always in some fun fights.
And a lot of things, or a little thing that not many people know about Chris Curtis is he has spent a majority of his career in Canada. He was actually the number 1 ranked fighter in Canadia, Canada at one time. So like he's been on like the underground scene, the regional scene in Canada, fighting his ass off. And now, unfortunately, he's going up against one of Canada's favorites.
Yeah. He's going to get booed. Maybe not. Maybe not booed. I don't think the Canadians really boo just because, well, it's not like, when a Brazilian comes to America.
No.
Yeah.
Like,
it's every time.
You're right. Unless they're fun.
Yeah.
Alex
Pereira?
Pajeda?
I don't know. No one boos him anymore, if they ever did.
No way.
Alex is the man.
He's the dude, and he's the 205-pound champ. But we're not here to talk about him. We're talking about Chris Curtis versus Mark Barrialt. Now, we both have Chris Curtis on this, correct?
I believe so, yeah.
Why can't Marc-Andre Barrialt get it done? His record is 16-6, where Chris is 30-10. They're not exactly 500 fighters, but
Neither of them are like barn burning either. So like I again, let's just say that it's just probably pretty close, probably closer than I anticipate. I'm not extremely familiar with Mr. Marc Andre's work, so I'm being very casual on that and picking the guy that I've seen fight more in Chris Curtis. You know what? Let's pull up the history, as I like to do. Let's see what we're working with.
nice.
So Barrialt beat Eric Anders last in June of 23.
Okay.
He had a canceled fight against Marquez, the guy that like called out Miley Cyrus that one time.
Mm-hmm.
And he lost to some Hernandez guy, Fluffy Anthony Hernandez.
Sure.
So after looking at that, I'm even more confident in my pick. We're sticking with Chris Curtis.
Now, Chris Curtis is a dog. He has trained with Sean Strickland, the middleweight champion. So if you're going to train as a middleweight with anybody, you're going to train with the best.
Champ.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I think he's actually the guy that gave Sean Strickland the nickname Deshaun Strickland and handed him the do-rag with the bottle of Hennessy.
That's so funny. Deshaun Strickland, baby. Yes, and he had that pretty solid fight against Kelvin Gastelum. He didn't beat Gastelum, but like, it was a fun fight.
You show up, bro. That's all we need.
show up.
As
Show
fans,
out.
as casuals, or as experts, all we need you to do is show up.
Yes. Just show up, go out, put on a good fight for the fans. Even if you're not ranked, you can win some money.
Of course. So you have
Even if you don't have any title aspirations, which, can you see Chris Curtis ever being a title holder?
my crystal ball is a little foggy on that. I don't know.
My 8-ball is kind of, it's saying no. It's kind of like,
Did you shake it
it's like
twice? Shake it one more
I'm
time.
shaking it.
Okay. Is Chris Curtis going to be middleweight champ?
To be determined.
That's
So a no and a to be determined.
that's
So,
better
like,
than no. That's better than
it's-
straight no.
It's not bad, right? It's not the worst.
So that being said, we're both backing our boy Chris Curtis, Action Man.
The action man.
On
The action man himself.
on to one of the biggest underrated underdogs on the entire card, and for some reason I have no idea why. I think the Canadian Athletic Commission, the CAC, I think they got a hold of these odds because
They may have.
Neil Magny's last fight was what? Against Captain Cuck himself. I don't mean to bring him into the new year. I don't mean
He
to.
did. I mean, he did lose to Captain Cuck.
I think it's whatever. That's up for interpretation. No, he lost
Is
decisively. He lost decisively. Shout out to Captain Cuck. If you don't know who that is, check out our last show.
Your last video, you'll know.
Check out
He
the
was the meme of the year.
meme of the year of 2023. Man, I don't know why Neil Magny versus Mike Mallet. They were calling him Mikey in the crowd. Mikey, Canadian favorite. I get that.
Yeah, he's a big fan favorite. I feel like if you look at the odds and you're taking a guy, Neil Magny, who is much older, he's coming off a loss. You have the up and coming young guy kind of raging through the division. I think it's unfair, but like you see this a lot, right? Or like it's just as soon as you get you get a little bit older and you lose a fight, your next fight, especially if it's against a young guy, it's just how they do the odds.
They
right?
start writing you off, dude.
I do think Mallett's winning. That's my pick. But yeah, I agree. The odds are kind of wild here. But maybe he'll show why. Maybe he'll just come out and fucking steamroll Magny.
I hope so. For the sake of the card, I hope so. Only
I wasn't
because,
expecting that.
well, I mean, I have Neil Magny, but that's because I've seen Neil perform. I've seen him perform at his worst, and I've seen him perform at his best. I don't remember the last fight that I saw this Mike Mallet guy, but like you said, I think it was pre-show that he has fought in Canada, and I believe we've seen that. So
Yeah, he beat Fugit. Fugit? Fugit?
Fuck
No,
it.
Fugit.
Fuck it.
Yeah, that's where Fugit came from.
Nice.
So that was his last fight. So it's a jump in competition for Mallet for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Can he survive that welterweight ranking?
A real test. A real test.
Sure. That being said, on to the questionable co-main.
Yeah, this is very.
Now, is this a card? Now, this card is good so far. Is this a card that is presenting us a DS co-main? And what I mean by DS is dog shit. Now, I don't.
Yes.
I don't mean to go hard on these ladies. I really don't. But when you have Raquel Rocky Pennington, who has all the experience in the world, has fought almost, if not all, the champions at the women's 135-pound division. You have Maeda Bueno Silva. She's, no pun intended, is no BS. So her last win over Holly Holm, she actually popped. And you know how I feel about this. I don't like it. I actually have disdain for any fighters who pop after a fight. But this was not steroids. This was ADHD medication.
Why is that? Why did she pop? Like, is that not something that's allowed?
So, I don't know if you know, I am not the biggest expert in attention deficit hyper disorder or whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you take a drug, a pharmaceutical drug, a steroid, anything to enhance your performance, oh, it was ADHD medication, so I used it to help me focus. I used it to help.
Is that how she used it?
I mean, if you have ADHD and you take some medication to return you back to normal, I don't think it's performance enhancing.
No, that should
to give you the edge.
Yeah.
But it's performance enhancing to bring you up to the level of where you should be. And so, just like taking too much caffeine, you're not allowed to have high caffeine levels. But all that being said, that's done for. USADA and the UFC are no longer partners. So, I'm not saying it's returning back to the Wild Wild West or the stringent drug testing that they once had. But my friend, it's going to get crazy on what is allowed and what isn't in the UFC.
Yeah.
Because that stuff doesn't just go away. I've never been diagnosed with anything like that. I've had trouble focusing, but I've never went to a doctor and been like, I have attention deficit disorder or whatever. Like, I've never had a drug to bring me back in a line with where I should be. And when she's fighting for the title, the upper echelons of the women's bantamweight division, ADHD is not something that you want to have. You want to be hyper-focused. You want to be in the game. And when you're going up against an experienced fighter like Raquel Rocky Pennington, you're going to pop again? It's going to be a no... I said her last fight was a victory over Holly Holm, a perennial, almost annual title contention fighter in the women's bantamweight division. And now it's a no contest because of some medication that she needs, but apparently she didn't list it in her whatever, which whether you list it or not, I don't know the stipulations on that. Like, hey, I have low testosterone. I understand how that works. I have low testosterone, so I'm going to take testosterone. Like, I don't know. But
yeah, I don't either. I'm going to say something, and this has nothing. It really has nothing to do with this card or anything at all. I was looking up the UFC women's bantamweight rankings to go through that.
Yeah.
You know who the women's pound for pound number one is? Right now?
Juliana Pena, right?
The pound for pound number one.
No idea.
Alexa Grasso.
Hang on. The bantamweight.
No, the women's top pound for pound
Oh.
number one.
Alexa Grasso. Why?
Bruh. With Valentina losing and Amanda retiring, it feels like the women's rankings have just fucking
Plummet.
Alexa Grasso is not a pound for pound number one. I'm sorry. Anyway, the reason I like I said, I wanted to look at the bantamweight rankings.
Sure.
With the removal of Amanda, this division feels not that highly. What's the? It's not competitive, right?
Regarded.
But it's like. All right, so you got Juliana Pena number one.
Sure.
So yeah, she should have been this should have been her title fight, and she went on Ariel and said as much. She said, "Oh, these ladies are just fighting for a chance to fight me," and she's a little cringy. Raquel Pennington at 2, like you said. I just looked at her last fight. Do you know who her last fight was? Do you know when her last fight was?
I'm willing to bet it wasn't last year.
It was technically last year, but it was over a year ago from today. It was January 14th.
Oh, at the beginning of the year last year?
Yes. And she fought Ketlin Vieira.
To a decision?
A split decision. And prior to that, she beat Aspen Ladd in what was probably, I imagine, her last UFC fight. She missed weight so many times.
Sure.
Buena Silva, a little slightly better record, I guess. With the UFC still shows it as a win for Silva on the website.
Mm-hmm.
But you know can you tell me who she fought prior to that?
No. I know that she has finishes. She definitely has finishes.
Yes.
Raquel is on I believe, 5-fight winning streak, whereas Bueno Silva, I think, is 5-1, something like that.
Her last 3 were submissions.
Mm-hmm.
She submitted the Elbow Queen. Do you know who the Elbow Queen is?
For the life of me, no. Who's
Lena Landsberg.
Oh, Double L. Yeah, never heard of her.
The bantamweight division
In shambles.
It's rough to look at, man.
Now, that being said, we're spending way too much time on this BS, no pun intended, BS co-main. I've seen
to the picks.
Well, I've seen hints of Amanda Nunes in Maeda Bueno Silva. During the press conference, Raquel was like, "You don't have the experience. What are you gonna do to me?" And they're like, "Okay, well, nobody watches your fights." Maeda was like, "Everybody is asleep during your fight. That's the time that they nap before watching any important fight." So, with the record of Raquel losing a decision or going to a split decision, it's like, okay, well, do you show up? Do you finish? Do you throw those hands? Do you throw up submissions? Maeda Bueno Silva, all day. I got her all day. I got her second round submission.
Me too. Yeah, I think we both picked a second round submission, actually.
Nice.
So where are we at right now? We've differed on one fight so far.
So yeah, the opening, boom. I'm going with Movsar Evloev, and you're going with Arnold Allen for some reason.
And then we divert back in for the Action Man.
Action Man, Chris Curtis.
And you picked. I can't remember. I actually really can't remember who you picked, Magny or Maylot.
I picked Magny.
Okay, so we divert there.
The underdog money is there. Like we said at the top of the show, CC MMA, if you want to make some money, go with the Robbie picks. Don't go with this guy right here, dude.
Who has bragging rights right now?
All right.
Yeah, that'd be me. Okay. So that means my picks were superior.
All right.
And if you want to make best use of our promo code CCMMA,
all right,
You pick my pills.
Okay. And then we both came back together. We're in this together.
Yeah.
For Maeda Bueno Silva.
Maeda.
Yeah, I'll stick to the Brazilian accent.
I love the way that I love the Brazilian accent. It's growing on me so much. The way they say things is. I love listening to Portuguese. It's so aggressive.
Okay.
I know your thoughts on Brazilians, but like, I just think the accent is amazing.
Hey, we left that Robert in 2023. Okay,
Did we?
I'm open. I'm open to.
Did we leave that Robert at SIP in Greenville?
Anyways, Maeda Bueno Silva, second round submission. We're coming together, like more together than just picking the fighter.
We're doing this, right? A little bit of this.
Yeah, give him some fins at home. Anyways,
yeah, wave it.
Time for the main event of the evening. I swear,
You cut out at no one heard main event. It went time for the
main event
of the evening.
It better be Bruce, because if it's Joe Martinez, I'm gonna blow my brains out. Anyways,
Bro,
can't.
That would be like a death sentence for this card almost.
They don't have Rogan, because Rogan doesn't travel for the cards much anymore.
No, not anymore.
It's just Canada though. It's in the same continent. It's North America. Did I say that right? Country, continent. So
yeah, continent.
So you have
it.
It's not that much of a flight, but they're having DC, Anik, and Dominic Cruz. Hey,
you don't like Cruz on the announcing?
Way to damp it up, guys. Way to wring out a downy towel on this dry commentary that you're about to have. DC livens it up, but he needs Rogan.
I love Anik though.
Anik's so animated. Now Dominic, he will give you analytics.
He's very smart. Even if you don't like listen to him, he's very analytical. Can I say that John Anik's the GOAT?
Of course you can. Of course you can. If you guys don't know John Anik, very few play. Mike Goldberg. Shout out to Mike Goldberg. Nobody does play-by-play like John Anik. You have Brendan Fitzgerald, who looks like he would hide a zombie bite from you guys if it were to go post-apocalyptic. John Anik.
There's something difficult when it comes to the strict play-by-play guys to have personality, but to also be a good play-by-play announcer, because like it is a kind of a drier role.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when you get to people like Brendan Fitzgerald, it feels really dry.
Sure.
But John Anik walks that perfect line of just like enough emotion and personality, but with also maintaining that kind of like, I don't know what the word I'm looking
professionalism.
for. Professionalism. He's the GOAT.
I'd say.
I love John Anik.
Not only
always welcome on the show.
Oh, 100%. You have
us some tips.
Some tits?
Some tips.
You have the Anik and Florian podcast,
which is a good podcast.
I'll tune in when I find the appropriate time. So you have John Anik, just to speak on that a little bit. No other broadcaster in the history of sports, whether I'm watching NBA, which is very rare nowadays, the NFL, even like La Liga, kind of like European soccer, football, anything like that. Very few analysts do I let interrupt my thinking, my critical thinking, my casual critical thinking with an ad. Like the start of the Jorge Masvidal Ben Askren fight, where he goes, this clock is presented by Modelo.
Yeah.
Like John Anik just sneaks it in there.
I need a clip. I need like a video of all of his ads that have gotten like
interrupted. Yeah.
I just want a full video.
So we will get you that Anik compilation at a later date. On to the main event, like I said.
Event
of the evening.
I know we're doing a little bit of this
we're,
again.
We're like some fucking rave DJs or some shit like that.
Yeah, the
the finger glove guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're back, bro. We're back at each other's throats with the main event. Can you explain your pick for the people?
Of course I can pick it.
Because we have Sean Strickland versus Dricus Duplessis.
DDP.
DDP? Is that
Diamond Dallas Page?
Hang on, I'm cutting back. Is that your love for WWE shining? Are you being a wrestling casual on an MMA casual podcast?
I'm gonna give you the real reason. I was pretty close to picking DDP over Robert Whittaker, and with the way he dominated Robert Whittaker, it was wildly impressive to me. Mm-hmm. And it catapulted him into like a different stratosphere as far as middleweight fighters. And I don't want this to even be like I hate Sean Strickland pick, because I don't. Like, it's not because I don't hate him. Like, that fight against Izzy was a masterclass in defense.
You picked him in that fight, right?
No, I didn't. I did not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I still don't hate him. But like, DDP, I don't know. DDP is hungry. He's aggressive. He's violent. This man is like a berserker in the cage.
Sure.
And it will be interesting to see if Sean's defense can hold up. Because if you take away Sean's defense, I don't think his offense is ever been that impressive. Has he ever been the most impressive like offensive striker to you? Not even shitting on him. Just seriously.
So I've seen a handful of. Will you pull up his record real quick? I've seen a handful of his performances. When I watched him face Alex Bejeda and saw him get clipped and then just dropped, I was like, man, this guy, he just doesn't have the style. You got the iCarly memes where he's like this.
Yeah.
And then you have his, I believe he was in the Apex, where you go to his fight in the Apex where he was I don't believe he was an underdog, but he was supposed to lose against this up-and-coming middleweight.
Magomedov?
Something, right?
Dude, I'm looking at his picture. He looks like the lead singer of Nickelback.
Stained?
A little bit.
Oh, wait. Stop
like
it. Chad Kroger? Stop.
Like a Russian Chad Kroger. Anyway, sorry.
Anyways, dude, so I haven't been that impressed until like I saw him come back against that guy in the Apex. To be determined was his name?
Magomedov? Was that the one you were talking about?
Yeah.
I thought that's who you were talking about.
Yeah. What's his name though? Do you have his name?
I can get back to it.
Yeah, they wouldn't call us the Couch Casuals for nothing.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to lose. It was scripted for him to lose. The guy's like, he's had his time.
Abus? Abubu.
Hey, boo-boo. So you had him, and then Sean just dominates the guy. I believe it was either first or second round finish.
Yeah, that one was. I remember that was a pretty dominant fight for him. Mm-hmm. Second round finish.
And so you have that, which is like, okay, you were supposed to beat that guy. Nobody's heard of that guy. I don't even know if he was ranked. I think Sean just took the fight.
It's weird. Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation.
And then I believe there might have been a fight in between, but I don't know. Because I know the Izzy fight was given to him because there was no one else.
Because DDP couldn't take the fight.
DDP after, Izzy.
Yeah.
What's up?
Yeah, it was supposed to be DDP. I guess he was hurt or something.
Hurt by Izzy's words.
No. DDP did not care. He did not care about those words. He was like, he has gotten into the mind of these guys. Izzy, he's gotten into the mind of Sean, which blew my mind. Like, but then their press conference was fairly tame. Like, it wasn't nearly as
not the seasonal not the seasonal press conference with,
No,
with Sean O'Malley and everybody. Like,
no, that was where they popped off.
but this one on last Thursday, as in 2 days ago, that
Wasn't
one that
anything too
pretty
crazy.
tame. The only thing that really happened was a fan ran from the crowd into the press conference and tried to shake Sean Strickland's hand.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah,
Successfully, he did.
yeah.
He's like,
I didn't care.
Let's go. So, why do we not agree on the picks of this fight? You think what? A third round, the DDP is going to hit the diamond cutter? What's going to happen?
I think he's going to hit him with the diamond cutter. No, I think DDP is going to overwhelm Sean. I think he gets it done.
What backs that? What history? Okay, so we don't even know.
What?
We don't even
The
stop
Robert
it. Stop.
Whittaker
No.
fight.
That I knew you were going to bring that up.
You asked me for history. That was impressive.
We don't even know if that was the real Robert Whittaker that showed up. We don't stop it. Stop.
What do you mean they're not the real Robert Whittaker?
We all have our good nights and we all have our bad nights. I come from the Robert community saying that I don't think that was the best Robert that could have showed up. I think I could have been a better Robert that night.
You can make the same argument for Izzy, though.
No.
Yes. What are you talking about? No.
He goes back to his corner. He goes, I couldn't find my jab.
I'm not going to make the argument.
Have
but
you ever
can easily make that argument?
Have you ever taken a class? Yes, you have.
Yes.
Yes, you have.
You can say that.
What is day number 1? It's jab. You can't find it? What are you, Sherlock Holmes without your magnifying glass? You can't.
He couldn't find it.
There's a difference between a Philly shell and 10 or 12 ounce gloves. Hell, even back in the heavyweight days where they're wearing 16s. You can't find your jab on a guy with 4 ounce gloves. And you are, glory keeper.
So what? I need you to get to the end of this because I feel like you're almost making my point for me.
What I'm saying is, Izzy being the quote unquote superior striker to Sean Strickland. Sean battered that guy for 4.5 rounds.
Yeah.
I watched it in Embedded, a UFC Embedded. Shout out to UFC Embedded. I'll put the link in the bio. Where Sean is wrestling with the recent winner, Ankalaev. Knocked out Johnny,
Yeah.
Johnny Walker. He's got all the tools, but he stood with, come on, the best striker in middleweight history, aside from Alex Pereira, who is now at 205, so Sean doesn't have to worry about him anymore. Thank God. Thank God. He's taking on Dricus Du Plessis, which is a well-rounded mixed martial artist.
Violent man.
Did he finish Robert Whittaker? Yes. Did he look huge on the scales? Yes. But this is a fight. Sean Strickland does this 7 out of 7 days. What does Dricus's sparring look like?
I don't know.
You don't know.
No. You don't either.
I know what Sean's looks like.
We know what Sean's look like.
Sometimes he's the hammer, sometimes he's the nail. I would argue, how many times in training camp is Dricus the nail?
Who knows? We don't know.
But that's important. That's it.
Because we don't know. So we can't make the argument.
We don't know. Because he's running some top secret South African camp.
Yeah. He's in the diamond mines, baby.
He's in the blood diamond mines.
So DDP.
That being said,
he's gonna knock Sean out.
Nobody's knocking Sean out that isn't Alex Pereira. All right.
I don't see Sean getting it done.
Okay.
Again.
All right. So we'll just.
We're splitting hard here.
We'll just split really hard.
It's really hard.
DraftKings.com/CCMMA. If you want to bet on Sean Strickland, I guarantee money's there. This is his first title defense. he's pretty nonchalant about it. You know, he said he has the belt somewhere under some dirty monster clothes in his closet.
I don't believe all of that.
I mean, he just doesn't, you know, he goes to Walmart and people recognize him. He can't go to Walmart anymore. And
Poor guy.
a poor guy. We all love the Walmart. You and I,
don't.
you know, that.
No, I don't. I hate Walmart. I think most people hate Walmart now.
They hate the trip, but once they're in there, man, Walmart's got some good stuff. Anyways, I think this is one of the biggest main events of the year so far because it's the first. It's like the first pay-per-view main event that offers two of the best middleweights on the planet going toe-to-toe. At the press conference, they shook on it. They're going to war.
Yeah.
Dricus dropped one of the coldest lines. This is not verbatim, but just like, you know, you want death? Your wish has been granted, my friend. I would not want to fight a guy that you know, just accepting or just being as accepted.
Wish has been granted
to those terms as Dricus was. He's so big, dude. I think he weighed in
massive
184, and he's got the Batman 8-pack.
Yeah, he's huge.
His shoulders are crazy big, and he's got a smile on his face. Where Sean
looked rough.
He walks
Sean
in.
always looks rough.
What's up, guys? Here's the thing about weight cutting, guys. This sucks. Nobody wants to do it.
He hates the weight cut.
So, I mean, Sean's a big dude, but Dricus is a big dude. And I, like you said, I feel like I'm making all your points for you, but I got Sean. I've had the white trash compilation of picks all of 2023. You think I'm going to stop just because it's a new year?
Well, I mean, the People's Champ is back.
The People's Champ. All right. I don't know what else to say.
When he hits the diamond cutter in there.
If he hits a diamond cutter on Sean Strickland, I expect Herb or Mark Goddard or anybody else, Jason Herzog. I just imagine them to call it off right there.
It's over.
It's over. Don't even let him get up, bro.
Wave it off, bro. If you get hit by a diamond cutter in a cage, you deserve the loss.
Yes. I mean, that's not like a surprise RKO. That's like we set it up. And so next week, we're going to hit you with a WWE podcast.
Hell yeah.
Smashing two beers. The Disturbed intro, not the regular.
Yes.
Stop. Anyways, do you have anything else for our friends, for our fans, besides our new real DraftKings promo code? It's real, ladies and gentlemen. It's real.
This is a real code. This is a real graphic of a real code.
Promo code CCMMA.
I think that covers $297. And we got a few months, but 300's right around the corner.
And we have some special content. We have some special content coming to you guys for UFC 300. It's in the works right now. We'll detail it out later.
I mean, this card looks amazing already, and we don't have a main event yet.
We alluded to the 145-pound legend Max Holloway being busy. Do you want to announce that? Do you want to break news on our podcast right now?
Max Holloway versus Justin Gaethje for the BMF at lightweight? Bruh, I don't like that for Max.
Nobody does. I've seen the Instagram. I've seen the YouTube polls. I've seen the Twitter polls. Everybody's like, I love Max. Justin's going to rough him up. It's going to be a Tony Ferguson 2.0.
This is going to be bad, and I think we might see Max's first fucking knockout.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I'm right there. I'm right there
I don't
with you.
like this. I don't like it at all. I mean, I'm going to enjoy watching, I'm sure, but I'm going to be sad at the same time.
I don't know if I'm going to enjoy watching.
Yeah,
I'm going to be biting my nails, gritting my teeth, ass on the edge of my seat, hoping that Max just survives 5 rounds with Gaethje.
Yeah. if it even looks like the Tony Ferguson fight, it's just going to be sad because that honestly was maybe one of the most uncomfortable fights I've ever watched. Was Justin Gaethje beating up Tony Ferguson?
Because you have
that fight really reminded me of one of the boxing fights where the guy goes in the back and dies.
Oh, 100%.
It was the worst.
And Justin wasn't even putting 100% of the pepper on him.
No, he took his foot off the gas in that fight because
Bing, 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 bing. UFC 300 will come and it will go just like any other card this year. We are so glad to be back, bringing you guys the most casual takes, the best casual picks that you can have. We're bringing you money, literally, where we used
have a promo code for you.
Where we used to do this for free. Now we're doing it for you guys to just make some money. So if you really want to make some money, you obviously go with my picks. And if you want to waste some money, you go with Kyle's picks. So that being said, we are the Couch Casuals, and you are our friends. You are our fans. Thank you for sticking with us through thick and thin. Editing to come, content to come, and we will see you guys on the other side of this card post-show. Kyle, any words for our people?
We love you. If you haven't, hit that subscribe, hit that like, leave us a comment.
Hit the bell for notifications.
All the good stuff that people talk about, share with your friends. Send it everywhere, because if you don't send it now, when we blow up,
He's gonna look like a poser, right? Join the couch. Sit on our couch.
Sit on the sensational sectional.
Or the casual couch.
I am your host, Robert Dylan Vasquez, here with my host,
Kyle Diorio. We love you. We're out.